The first thing that I'd like to do is ask you all to join me in a moment of silence for a dear friend to many of us and our fellow Rotarian Barry Kesser. Sorry. Thank you. Anyone have a Barry story they'd like to share? Jim Sell, go ahead.
Well, we joined about the same time back in the early '80s, I think. Anyway, he and I both had baseball caps that said Papa Bear on them, and we got them independently somewhere else, and we always wore them to Rotary. And if we thought we could get away with it, we wore them during the meeting. Brag about it. See how tacky we could be, but he was a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Chuck, I saw that you wanted to say something.
Yeah, he and I had gone to several Virginia football games, riding up and coming back with lots of good conversation. But on one of those occasions, we would meet his son, who is MD and a professor at the medical school in Charlottesville. And we would go to sit down at the stadium, and his son Brad goes in, and Brad's son Ethan was with him. So he went in next, and then I stood back so that Barry could go and sit next to his grandson. And he said, "Oh no, you go right ahead and sit." And I thought that was unusual, but then it just dawned on me later that that was Barry's way of including me within his family group. And that's just the way he was.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
We miss him.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Chuck. Anyone else? All right. Well, Barry will absolutely be missed, by his family, by his friends, and certainly by the Rotary Club of Norfolk. So we're going to start with some music. And Chuck, I believe you are going to lead us in song.
Well, that's news to me, but we'll do the best we can. I have my Rotary hymnal close by.
Okay.
Why don't we do one of John Lynn's favorites, which I remember from years ago when I was first singing, and he was the president. He asked me to sing R-O-T-A-R-Y. And I used to have a gouge that told me where that is. But that doesn't matter to you, does it?
Chuck, don't tell me you don't know that by heart.
Well, but it's number 57 in the songbook. You got to say that. And if I was better organized and known I was going to be doing this, I'd have had it so we could put it up on the screen. But in any event, here we go. Excuse me. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is known on land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, he profits most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. And we'll conclude with the book slapper Grand Old Flag. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. With our heart under red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. Should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag. Sorry for the scratchy voice.
Not a problem. Chuck, thank you very much. And stay tuned for a little rendition of Happy Birthday. And now if you will all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now if you can join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Bob Healy.
And will it be fun?
Thank you, as always, Bob. Appreciate that. Joe New, can you give us our invocation?
Yes, I've been blessed to serve on the chaplains committee off and on for many of the last probably 30 years. And Barry Kesser was frequently on that committee with me. And Barry had a habit of sometimes reading from opening prayers at the office of the chaplain from the United States House of Representatives would come up with. So I decided to go online and look up a prayer by today's the chaplain of the U.S. House of Representatives and read that today in honor of Barry, because Barry's one of the reasons I'm still active in Rotary. You know, seeing his smiling face and his really heartfelt greeting across a salad bowl when we got in line to eat at Scope was just a joy. You know, Barry was a good Rotarian. He was a good father, a good grandfather, proud grandfather. He was just a good man, and we're going to miss him. The
He
chaplain
was a very nice guy. Damn it.
The chaplain of the United States House of Representatives is Margaret Kibben, and her prayer on March 26 was, God, our guide, we pray you would come along us on this day. To have the privilege to be in your presence would give our lives a sense of fulfillment, our efforts, purpose, and our direction, certainty. As we gather together, be our eyes that we would see the magnificence of your design. Be our ears that we would hear the symphony you have composed. That in what we touch, we feel your embrace, and what we taste, the sustenance that you have provided for our journey. With you beside us, we may have the faith to give us over to your keeping all of your desires, plans, and thoughts, that we would yield our whole selves to you, trusting in your direction. Wherever you lead us today and in the days to come, may we readily follow. We pray in the abiding love of your holy name. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Joe Massey is running late for an appointment, so here's an abbreviated version of the visitation report. Ann Morgan is our bookkeeper is back in the hospital and is apparently doing okay, but not well enough to come home yet. Also wanted to just let everyone know. Well, everyone is clearly aware that Barry Kesser had passed away. And let me see, what else do we have? I think that is probably it. We do have one guest with us. Sigger, would you like to introduce our guest?
I would be delighted to. We've got Deb Davis again today, and she is a retired Norfolk public school teacher with an emphasis upon reading, and she worked in many of the schools which involve the children that we know and love from the Hunton YMCA. And I think we're going to do a election of her today, maybe.
Yes, yes, we will be, Deb, we will be voting on you today. So when we do that, just turn around. We'll be doing a virtual vote. So, oh, I also wanted to let the club know, Michelle Nettles unfortunately lost her mother a couple weeks ago. So please keep Michelle and her family in your thoughts and prayers. So, our school of the week is Ruffner Academy. Our scribe today is Sally Hartman. And now I would like to introduce someone who really needs no introduction. He is our past district governor and one of our club's past presidents. John Paget is here to for a very special occasion. So John, I'm gonna turn it over to you right now.
Thank you, Jim. It's always nice to be introduced by way of no introduction. And it's great to see everybody. Pam Tubbs, that's an amazing smile that you're able to keep there. I'm sure there's some magic to that. But it's great to see everybody's face on this Zoom call. I have been in and out covering a wide range of Rotary events and activities. And Jim called and asked if I would give a presentation today. And I said, I would be more than happy to, because it gives me a chance to share a story about the impact of Rotary, and also to congratulate someone who has done so much for Rotary and the Norfolk Rotary Club. Sigurd Whitaker has been a faithful contributor to the Rotary Foundation over a number of years. We all have been told about the Paul Harris Society and receiving those awards over a period of time. But when you contribute $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation, you become a major donor. And Sigurd has hit that milestone. And it is for the purpose of that, we are recognizing her today as a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. So a virtual round of applause for Sigurd and her wonderful contribution to the foundation. Mine doesn't have to be virtual. I'll make mine loud. In case, just to give a brief update on the impact of what Sigurd has done and individuals and Rotarians like Sigurd have accomplished. You know, it began many years ago. A guy named March Klump got $25, which was left over from a Rotary International convention. And so the foundation started just with that contribution and has grown over the years to allow the Rotarians around the world to make a dramatic impact that we can see, touch, and feel on a regular basis. The one that is so easy to sort of embrace and talk about is the polio eradication effort. We've actually carved that out of the general foundation funds, but you know, there are 19 million people today that are walking as a result of the efforts of Rotary International and contributions from individuals like Sigurd. There are 1.5 million individuals who are alive today because of individuals like Sigurd who've made contributions to the Rotary Foundation. And I think the thing that really is relevant and timely is the structure that was built to support polio eradication came into play last year when COVID was, rearing its ugly head, and the world had little or no experience on what to do, how to get vaccinations out into the communities. And they turned to Rotary in many places and the infrastructure that was developed to assist with the vaccination effort. So Rotary and the contributions through the Rotary Foundation are still making significant impacts. We're getting this close to eradicating polio. And Sigurd, on behalf of the Rotary Foundation and all the people that are positively affected by the generosity that you and others provide, We would like to thank you and your encouragement and active work on behalf of the foundation is making a difference. And thank you so much. And with that, Jim, I'll turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you, John, and congratulations, Sigger. You are truly an inspiration to our club.
And there's lots of cool things she gets if we were together. And you may already have them, Sigger, if you want to show them the club. There should be a crystal, right? Did you get the crystal? There it is. And what does your pin look like now as a result of Major Donor 1?
I put it in a very safe place, but it has a little diamond in the middle, and
Okay,
it's
good.
not round like the other ones. It's square, but it's laid on the diagonal. And I
Right.
think it might have arch clumps in the middle. Yes, is that right?
So you'll get to see that when we meet again. But again, Sigger, display them with pride. You deserve it.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
And Sigger, while we're on the topic of the Rotary Foundation, I know you've been diligent of reminding us that today is the district Rotary Day. So I'll give you the floor to make a final last day pitch.
Okay, thank you. So today is the district's Rotary Day of Giving. And if you are not a Paul Harris Fellow +8 or a major donor, if you contribute between $100 and $500, the district will match with points, which makes it very, very easy to either obtain your first Paul Harris level or to get to the next level. And I will tell you that when I started in Rotary and they started matching points, I did that frequently. So that was one of the ways that I got up to the Paul Harris +8 pretty quickly. Well, not pretty quickly, it took me years, but once I decided to start doing this, it went pretty quickly. Our club has been recognized in the December Day of Giving, which is the Rotary Foundation's Day, on several occasions, at least twice, for being one of the top giving clubs in the world. And there are $35,000, 30,000 clubs in the world. So, I thank you all who have already contributed, and for those who plan to contribute later today. If you have trouble, I'd be glad to help you. But I will tell you, I'm going to be out in my yard after this meeting, so it will be tonight. I'll be back on the computer. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sigger.
Oh, yes. And birthdays, Jim,
Yes.
birthdays.
Oh, that was next on my list right here. So it is the first meeting of April, and we have some birthdays and anniversaries to celebrate. For birthdays, we had George Campo on April 2nd. Michelle Nettles is today, April 6th. Ray Moses, April 9th. Winston Whitehurst, April 13th. Bernie Cohen, April 17th. He shares that day with Mark Shaw on April 17th also. Joe New, April 18th. Kelly Stefanko, April 25th. Susan Don, April 24th. Brian McGuire, April 27th. And Chris Bugg on April 30th. Chuck, can you lead us in a rendition of Happy Birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Chuck. And happy birthday, Rotarians. We have one wedding anniversary to celebrate, and that is Walt Sobek and his wife Donna celebrate 26 years on April 21st. And congratulations, Walt and Donna. And we have some Rotary anniversaries to celebrate also. Jerome Adamson, 26 years. Skip Burton, 36 years. Jack Kavanaugh, 24 years. Shep Miller, 30 years. Alan Nelson, 35 years. John Paget, 32 years. Anthony Rad, 42 years. Lori Harrison, 7 years. Baranu Mengist, I'm probably going to screw this one up. Baranu, I know how to say that one. Mengistu, 2 years. Chris Bugg, one of our newer people, is celebrating his first year anniversary, as is Brian McGuire. as is Stephen Kirkland. Walt Sobek is celebrating 6 years. Lorna Cochran is celebrating 12 years. And in addition to her birthday being today, Michelle Nettles is celebrating 6 years as a Rotarian. So thank you all for all the great work that you do as Rotarians. Okay, moving right along, we're going to be voting. I sent out in the president's message the application for Deb Davis, who is with us at this meeting. So Deb, please just turn around. We're going to do a little poll where we're going to vote. So I'm going to post this and give us about a minute to please answer, and we will act accordingly. Okay, we'll give it a couple more seconds. Final call for votes. All right. Well, thank you very much. I will tell you that here are the results. And Deb Davis, we are thrilled to be inducting you in a future meeting. So congratulations and welcome to the club. Our next board meeting is on Monday, the 12th of April. We'll be meeting via Zoom, and just wanted to let everyone know that members are allowed to attend. And if you would like to attend, just let me know and I'll make sure you get an invite to that. Also, at next week's meeting, we're going to be inducting Donnie Doman. We voted on him at our last meeting, and he's actually out this week celebrating Easter, or not Easter break, but spring break with his family. So we'll be inducting him next week, and we look forward to that. Give me 1 second here. Walt, do you have I think you have an upcoming service project for us.
I do. On the 9th of this month from 8:30 to 12, we have another food distribution, and this is for St. Paul's. And the location is the Willis Building parking lot, which is 645 Church Street. It's across from the Brambleton Post Office. So we had some folks do it last month downtown at the Basilica. They all came back with great reviews. They enjoyed interacting with the people downtown and distributing that food. So this is another opportunity to mingle with the same folks that potentially could use the Hunt and Y. And then later, just a word about later in the month on the 22nd, we are going back to the food bank. And that's a Thursday from 9 to noon. And I've signed us up for 8 volunteers. And right now we are the only volunteers going that day because I checked the food bank sign up today. It calls for 20 people and we are the only 8 slots that are committed at this point in time. So if anybody has free time later in the month, please join us on the 22nd.
Thanks, Walt. And while we're on the subject of being at the Basilica, Bob Batcher would really like to convince us all that we should be eating Special K. So, Bob, your moment of fame.
I'm really excited to announce that out of 55 people, my count was about 45, including a little 2-year-old, were introduced to healthy dining. in the morning by being forced upon with Special K cereal. That was brought about because I was challenged that they probably wouldn't take it. But Jim, I got to turn this into a confession and probably a fine.
Fire away. I'd love to find you, Bob.
I'm very embarrassed, but I really don't like Special K.
Consider yourself fine, sir. You lied to that 2-year-old.
No, I gave him a big box. He wanted
Okay.
a big box of cereal.
That is true. That is true. He did want a big box.
But it was so cool to see the faces of people who were in need, but not necessarily feeling like they were entitled. They were very gracious that we were there. They were very excited, and they had strong arms to carry a lot of bags.
Yeah.
It was just so rewarding to be there that morning.
Yeah.
And thanks for the Rotarians for being there.
Yeah, that was a great experience. And I think everyone who was there, not only felt as though they were doing some good, but we actually had a good time. I mean, it was fun. It was fun. Bill Moore, do you have a couple minutes to give us an update on the Zoom rooms at the Hunt and Y?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Rotarians. It's actually still ongoing to a certain extent. For those of you who don't know, we committed as a club to put in a couple of smart TVs and the auxiliary equipment to allow them to Zoom in the library and in their conference room, with the idea that while they would have many uses for the hunt, and we would be able to come in and do reading stories for the kids, especially in the library. So we have a TV on the wall in the library and its auxiliary equipment. We have, these are like 50-inch TVs. We have a 50-inch TV in the conference room on a cart that they can move. We had seen some evidence that you can Zoom straight through a smart TV. That may be true in some places, but we haven't been able to make it work at the Hunting yet. It could be a bandwidth issue, or it could be actually that not all smart TVs are created equal. So we haven't been able to pull Zoom straight through the TV. We can cast to it like many of us do on our TVs, where you start it up on a phone and throw it to a TV. We can do that. We're also exploring other meeting apps that don't require quite as much bandwidth as Zoom. Now, the other side of it is, as often happens in a Rotary project, there's been some auxiliary benefits. In order to try and increase the internet capability of the building, we bought them some mesh routers that allow them to distribute their signal better. They now can take up to 45 kids at one time on Zoom, independent Zooms, and not crash their system, which is a big deal for them. And also, I sort of was surprised to know this, we put the first TVs in the building. So they've already had a movie day for the little kids to, maybe use up some time toward the end of the day. So we're still ongoing. And I hope to actually join next week's meeting from the Hunting and show you that it works.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for the update. Anyone have any questions on that project? Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for your support of it. We got a last minute request from District 7600. They are moving offices tomorrow. They're moving from Williamsburg to, I believe, the Oyster Point area of Newport News. And if you have some free time tomorrow morning and would like to help them move, just let me know and I will give you the contact information for the folks who are heading that up for the district. Again, that'll be tomorrow morning. They're looking at moving from the current office in Williamsburg to, I believe, one in the Oyster Point on Nettles Drive, I believe. Okay, fines and happy bucks. Who has some good news they'd like to share? Jim Sell.
This is a case of recessive genes coming to the fore. My oldest grandchild is going off to Carnegie Mellon University this fall, majoring in computer engineering. I have to say, as a history major, I have no idea what that means, but he's a smart cookie and we're mighty proud of him.
Thanks for sharing, Jim. And congratulations to your grandson. Bill Moore.
Yes, it wasn't in the records, but I want to do some happy bucks on April 15th. Margaret and I will celebrate our 43rd wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations, Bill. Congratulations.
Send something through today.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Mike Desplaines.
I've got 10 happy bucks for 2 weeks in Hawaii that we just came back from. And we brought my 78-year-old mother who was fully vaccinated, and it was a bucket list trip for her. So we had a really great time. If COVID taught us anything is don't wait.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Mike. And anyone else? And feel free to chime in. Sharon.
Okay. I want to give some happy bucks for my Rotary sponsor, Barry, and my cousin, Barry. He was a really nice man and just a sweetheart. And I also want to give some money for Chuck's choice of ROTARY. Whenever I tell my son that I've gone to Rotary, he starts singing that song. So it's his favorite now. So thank you, Chuck.
Awesome. That's great.
President Jim,
Yes.
I have happy bucks because yesterday the Wall Street Journal had a full page review of the current exhibition at our Chrysler Museum. It was a beautiful review, and I encourage all of you to go visit. It's an extraordinary exhibition. It's Americans in Spain, 1820 to 1920, and the array of loans that we have from places like the Metropolitan in New York, from the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, from the Prado in Spain. I mean, we just have, it's an amazing exhibition and very world class. So I encourage people to enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
Got happy bucks for this basketball season being over. It was a rough one. And I've also got happy bucks for Hubert Davis being hired by Sigger and her crowd, because I think we can do quite well against Hubert.
We Tar Heels like the continuation of the Dean Smith / Roy Williams line. So I'm not sure I'd be doing the celebratory dance yet, Chris.
Ooh, we're getting a little smackdown here. I like this. This is good. This is good. Who else has some happy bucks or good news they'd like to share?
Hi, Jim?
Yes.
Eleanor.
Eleanor, yes.
Yes, how about $10 for the first Zoom meeting that I've ever hosted? And it was with Canada and Ethiopia and the US. So it was exciting.
Awesome.
It's about a project in Ethiopia.
Okay. And we are going to, at some point, we're going to want to schedule you to give an update to the club on that to bring us up to speed. Okay.
I'll jump in on some
Okay.
happy bucks. One, that we sold our house after living there for 35 years. So that was a little heartbreaking, but it was a good move. And two, we're settled in, and I probably only have about 15 more boxes left to unpack. So making progress.
Now, Barbara, that begs the question on the 15 boxes. Is that the truth?
I'd say so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Although they do seem to multiply every time I turn around.
Oh, good. Anyone else?
I'll do happy bucks.
Sally, we'll get right to you. Will King. Will, you want to unmute yourself? Will, you're still muted. There you go. Oh, You just read me. Oh, there you go. Now we can.
Okay, my grandson is graduating from UVA in a couple of weeks.
All right, go Who's.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Sally.
So I will give happy bucks because yesterday, after months and months of preliminaries and this and that, my husband Ron started the first of his 45 days at the Hampton Proton Center for prostate cancer. So we're glad to be at this point. So I have made him a paper chain of 45 links. So he's got one off of there and only 44 more to go, and 44 trips through the tunnel to Hampton, which has so far been the greatest challenge.
Yeah. Well, we hope that all goes well.
Yes. Well, we are thankful to have the Proton Center.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah. That really is a regional asset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
Anyone else? Baranu.
I thought there should be two sources of happy bugs. One, I haven't seen our grandchildren for over a year. They came this weekend to visit us from New York. It was a beautiful weekend. On the other, I thought Jim should pay some money for mispronouncing my name, you know?
Guilty. You called me out on it. I'm paying. I'm paying.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And my apologies, sir.
I was just kidding.
No.
Look how badly I pronounce the English language. So, I just wanted to make you all laugh.
That's and you did. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you very much. This it's been a long time since we've had such good news to share, and so much of it. And before I'm accused of being a downer here, hey Rotarians, we have an issue with our accounts receivable for dues that went out on January 1st. The list is huge. So do me a favor, check your emails, remember whether or not you paid your dues for the first half of the year. And if you didn't, please send it in either through sending a check in or using going through the website. I know there's a small fee involved in that, or you can even use our Venmo system. But the list is huge. I would love to get it cleaned up and make it more manageable, so that the treasurer and I have a manageable list to work with. So in the spirit of, is it fair to all concerned, please do a mental check and see if you have sent that in. So I appreciate that. Okay, back to good stuff. Our vice president in charge of programs is Lori Harrison, and we appreciate all Lori has done this year for making these Zoom meetings as interesting as they have been. So Lori, you have the floor.
Thank you. I do want to remind everybody that next meeting, we're going to be doing a networking session. So I hope you'll attend next week as well. But for today, our Rotarian of the day is Kelly Stefanko. Kelly has been a Rotarian for 5 years. She enjoys meeting new people and all the friends that she's met at Rotary. Before the pandemic, she worked at home like the rest of us are doing now. But so meeting everyone at the meetings gave a chance for Kelly to meet new friends. And I love her fun fact. She actually misses all the lunches at Scope because it was the best meal of the week for her. So poor Kelly has had to make her own lunch this past year. But anyway, so Kelly's going to introduce our speaker. So thank you, Kelly.
All right. Well, good afternoon, Rotarians. I know this past year I've been doing a whole lot more sitting. So I'm excited to hear from our speaker today on stretches for pelvis, spine, and knees to undo hours of sitting and reduce stiffness and pain. We are lucky to have with us Kim Austin Peterman, who is certified as a yoga therapist from the International Yoga Therapy Association. Some of you might recognize Kim as the owner of the Space Above Yoga Center on 22nd Street, Norfolk, which I didn't realize until talking to Kim today that it did not survive the pandemic. So typically she served her clients and students holistically through personalized assessments that enable a comprehensive integration of yoga and other unique healing therapies. Kim knows through experience how yoga can cultivate a balance for the body, mind, and soul. And she blends today's modern lifestyle with the ancient wisdom of Vedic philosophies in creatively helping those who desire balance and transparency in their everyday lives. She has been a massage therapist for 25 years, which complement her abilities as a yoga therapist. She has been practicing and studying yoga for over 20 years and has successfully completed both the 200 and 500-hour level of teaching and training and certifications. So Kim, thank you for being with us today, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kelly. I guess you were visiting my website. Thanks for that introduction. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me come in to your meeting today. It's really nice. Like, yes, you heard, I closed a few months ago my business, so I appreciate you guys being my only gig in a while. So thanks. It feels good. And having said that, this is my first attempt at a Zoom here in my home. So hopefully you can see me well enough and hear me well enough to start off.
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, good. What I wanted to just, share with you is just some things from the chair. I think, of course, we've all been, especially if you've been working from home, sitting and Zooming and sitting in chairs more frequently than the body can really withstand comfortably, typically. So I thought I'd do some things, just show you a handful of things you can do and access really easily from a chair. And I'm happy to share modifications if anything, of course, isn't feeling like you want to even attempt it, please just take it slow and we'll work as it needs to be felt. Also, I wanted to just go over a little bit of a simple sort of understanding about muscles. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to come a little closer. So one of the things that I like to tell people when we work with the body is how muscles, just the simple sort of action of muscles and stretching muscles really is, and that it's best explained with a rubber band, right? I think a lot of times we tend to overstretch or try to stretch too quickly, and it really, really makes more sense to
That's a good question.
feel.
What's his name? Keep the money from his condo. I know, they'll probably do the same. They're probably just gonna let Alex keep his.
I'll just keep going.
Hold,
Well, it helps.
hold on. Can someone, someone's phone is unmuted? Okay, go ahead. I think we're good.
So I've got a rubber band. Hopefully you can see this.
Mm-hmm.
And just one thing I want to just have you guys focus on today, if it's something new, maybe you've already focused on it, but when stretching, as you can see, this rubber band it's just in its natural, it's not stretched at all. As we stretch, of course, just that little bit of tension is where you want to start to meet your body. That's basically meeting your body where it's just maybe a millimeter more than where it was, right? And then the stretch, if we want to extend even more, is going to be, of course, slow. But what's really important is the release being just as slow. So letting go as slowly as you stretch, right? Coming to that rather than this. We don't want to try to do this, right? The body tends to go back to that rigidity as well. So we're going to just keep that in mind as we stretch. And again, we're just going to be sitting in a chair. And regardless of what kind of chair you have, often it's ideal to not have sides to the chairs, but wherever you're sitting, we're going to make work today. If you have armrests, we'll work around that. Again, hopefully you can see me, gosh knows. So from here, now I'm regretting wearing black. I should have worn a brighter color, I guess. So first I want you to just sit with your feet directly aligned with your knees and hips, right? So really stacking your joints, letting your heels be directly under your knees And then just like any well-engineered structure, you wanna stack your strongest points. So ankles to knees, and then the knees align straight in alignment with the hips. And that's how we're gonna put our seat together, the foundation, right? So just really finding where your pelvis feels grounded. It's important to kind of feel both sides of the pelvis, feeling, sometimes we might even have a natural alignment to lean to one side and or forward or back, right? So if you think about your pelvis like a bowl, think of it as the bowl can pour forward, the bowl can pour back, the bowl can pour side to side, right? And so it's just about aligning into the pelvis and where, first just always coming into where you're feeling what it feels like, just finding that awareness. And then if you can adjust around anywhere you might find some tendencies, right? And then from here, just finding your spine feels like the foundation of your pelvis. And if we can find neutrality and feeling like your pelvis is a bowl, just like a bowl would stand straight up where the opening faces the ceiling. And then your spine has that nice foundation to be supported. And then just finding a slight tuck in the chin will allow your neck, of course, to not be compressed, and just feeling length from your seat, from your tail, basically, all the way up through the top of your head, the crown of your head. And then, of course, just softening that, right? Sometimes we can feel a little mechanical when we're doing things that, putting it all together, and it's something that maybe we haven't done before, or haven't done in a while. So just softening it with the breath, right? So maybe closing the eyes or just looking down, just softening your awareness and just starting to pay attention to the breath first, just feeling where your breath is. Maybe it's a little rapid, maybe it's a little short, maybe you're being affected by pollen outside, or, just any kind of awarenesses you can pull about where your normal breath is right now. And then when you're ready, we can intentionalize the breath and just try to lengthen the breath. Today, I just thought we'd try a simple lengthened breath where we can maybe count to 5 or 3, whatever feels good. It's an invitation to just expand the breath comfortably. So inhaling on 5, counting, and then we'll hold and try to hold for that same 5 or that same 3, wherever you are. And then, of course, the exhale will be in that 5 or 3, letting it go. Again, it's that same principle of the release, just like the rubber band, the release being just as slow and intentional as the expansion. And let's try that in our own way, at least 3 times. And noting that when you're holding the breath, trying to feel as though it's soft and not like you're like a balloon with tension where you're holding as much air as you can in and there's a tightness or a tension. Just pull the breath in to being expanded, but not taut, not tense. And again, just holding there just as long as you pulled it in, and then letting it go. Maybe allowing a sense of the exhale to redirect you into an awareness of the pelvis. Where has your pelvis maybe come to rest, if it's maybe come back to its tendency, and also the spine. Just keep kind of, just checking back in with the pelvis and the spine. And then when you're ready, we'll all meet back with just coming back to the normal breath, that innate breath. And let's try to inhale together and just feel a sense of lift, grounding through the pelvis, but a lift through the spine. And then from here, we're going to just go into a little bit of neck stretches. So we're going to direct, letting the shoulders be heavy, direct your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just slowly letting that ear sort of be heavy towards the shoulder. Of course, stretching that left side. And then we'll come back up. As you come up, feel as though you're sort of being pulled by the top of your head, like a plumb line. Just keep that lengthening of the spine. And then we're just gonna come again one more time, over right ear to right shoulder. And this time you can, if it feels comfortable, let your left hand come away from your left knee and just let your left arm hang. It's adding a little more weight if it feels comfortable. And then if that feels comfortable, it's a good stretch. You can even add more, one more option. Take your right hand and just hold gently your head and just draw it down. Just kind of give it a little bit more support of that right ear coming to the right shoulder. And just listen to those muscles, right? Just feel that stretch of the left side neck. And of course, again, as you release, just releasing slowly, just like that rubber band, let go of the hand and just lift back up from the top of the head. Yeah. And just standing tall again. We're going to go ahead with both hands to the knees and then exhale your left ear to your left shoulder. And again, just try to keep both shoulders heavy, especially that right shoulder. From the top of the head, just coming back up, just taking the head just to balance on top of the spine. Inhale and then exhale. One more time. Again, adding the option if it feels okay to just let that right arm hang and add a little weight. Again, the option of the left hand supporting a little bit more. Hopefully that feels really good. Releasing slowly, gently, lifting back up. Again, maybe just checking back in with the pelvis, feeling well grounded, feeling well lifted. We're going to go into something that is called cat-cow, and it's just a spinal flexion, right? There's a saying in yoga, we say you're only as old as your spine. So we want to place a lot of focus into flexing the spine, opening the front and opening the back. So hands to knees. And this is just like we talked about the pelvis directing like a bowl, pouring forward, pouring back. This is just that same movement. You're going to hold on to your knees, and then you're going to just start by pouring the pelvis back and letting the back spine open towards your chair. Of course, you're going to come in and just tuck in and look towards your belly. And then reversing that, you're going to pour your pelvis forward and lift and open the front spine and lift back up. That was Alistair, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw my dog just come in. I started talking about cats and cows and he came. Let's try that 2 more times. Again, just flexing the spine as much as it feels available. Inviting as much flexion, yeah, slowly, mindfully. Even just this one thing here can be something we practice. Any one of these things we're going to do is, some of them, you know, can be just the one magic perfect one for just to do once a day, 10 times a day. And then after 3 or so, we'll go ahead, just come back to neutral pelvis, stack the spine. And from here, stretch the side body a little bit. So maybe if you come a little forward on your chair, let's just kind of come back just into the chair a little bit more again, just allowing your heels and knees and hips to align and stack. We're going to just take your right hand to your outer left leg. Maybe if you have a handle on your, an armrest on your chair, holding the chair, whatever feels comfortable, right? And then from here, the left arm's just going to lift up. We're just going to stretch. So we're keeping the knees and the shoulders squaring forward, but we're lifting up that left arm, heavy shoulders, and then exhale, just stretch that left arm, left side body all the way as you lean right. And of course, inhale here, exhale to bring yourself back to stack the spine. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, kind of lengthening up, and exhale, take all that length to the right. Keeping grounded through both sides of the pelvis, especially that left side. Maybe want to kind of lift up off the chair a little bit, just anchoring, find a little strengthening in the belly, anchoring the pelvis. Only go as far as it feels. The hips want to stay grounded, right? Yeah. After 3 times, let's go ahead and just come to center. And go ahead and just let your left arm bend. We're going to just grab a hold of the back of your chair here and keep your right hand on your left leg. Use that. We're going to sort of use it for leverage, and then use your left hand on your chair to lift up, and we're going to rotate to the left. We're twisting the spine. So again, keeping your hips squaring forward with your knees and feeling that rotation above the pelvis, right? It's the spine rotating, spiraling back. Use that right hand to left leg, left hand to the chair, really press in where you can, find that leverage, right? And again, just like the rubber band, exhale when you're ready to release as slowly as you can, coming back forward. Yeah. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side, right? So from here, again, it's going to be just letting your left hand come to outside of that left leg, or again, the armrest of the chair, right arm's going to lift. Inhale, find some length. Exhale to your left. Keep those hips and pelvis grounded. Reach. And then slowly with control, come back. Just finding that 3 times. Let your inhale, that expanded feeling, be synonymous with the reach. And let your exhale, that release, be synonymous with coming back. So that each little posture that we do, we incorporate the breath and just giving it a little bit more. A little bit more intention, a little bit more experience for the body. And again, we're just going to bring that right arm down, find the back of your chair, and create that resistance with the palms and twist right. Don't be afraid to press in as much as you can. Keep that lift, rotate. It's just like a wet rag wringing out water, right? The spine just wants to rotate. Release. We hold lots of tension in our spine. Again, coming back slowly and mindfully. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and just take a little bit of length up the torso. Again, ground through the feet and inhale, lift the arms. Both arms come lift up, lift, lift, lift. And then 2 options here. First one, we can, if we feel well grounded in the seat, in the chair, in the pelvis, we can let the arms come open. We're just going to fold forward. Try to take the head between the knees and then let the head become heavy. If that doesn't feel balanced enough, or we feel like we're going to kind of fall out of the chair a little bit, or if the seat's lifting, bring your hands right to the tops of your legs and just let yourself come down. With control, you can hold on to the knees. Either way, once you're down, hang the head, but then if you had your arms wide, still bring your hands right back to your knees and press yourself back up, right? And then if we choose this option, bring the arms back open, opening here, or hands to knees. Either way, we want to get to where we allow a lengthening from the tailbone through the crown of the head. So you're just letting your seat stay grounded and your head come to relax between your legs, right? And pressing up slowly. We'll take that 3 times. And again, the inhale, synonymous with that expanding, lifting, stretching, opening, and then the exhale, releasing and coming forward. And then we're going to take that just a little bit further. Once you've done that 3 or so times, at least 3 times, just to extend the legs. You might not see me. We're gonna just basically extend your legs as much as necessary to when your heels will be on the floor and your toes off the ground, right? So your feet are flexed. So your knees are gonna be still slightly bent, right? So it's just extending the legs about halfway. We're gonna ask for a little hamstring stretch here, right? So the same thing we just did, but with the legs extended like this. So again, both options, inhaling, arms open and coming forward, or inhaling, arm open, and then just bringing hands to the legs and fold, and keep the seat grounded and let the weight of the head come down between the legs. Hopefully that feels like a nice stretch from the base of the spine all the way up the back body and out through the crown of the head, right? And we'll try that 3 times as well. And feel free to linger, let your head hang. It should feel really good to just get that nice lengthening and flexion of the spine, opening the back body. And then of course, just meeting back up with, again, stacking feet under the knees, rebending the knees here, coming tall into the spine and feeling grounded in the seat. From here, we're going to ground into the left foot and start to feel, if we can, a little lighter on the right. We're going to do that as gradually as we can. Just first feel like your left side body, your left leg, left hip, left shoulder, everything on the left side of the body grounds and becomes heavy. And just slowly feel that right heel start to peel up off the floor. Start to engage those upper leg muscles. And as you're ready to, we're going to take that right knee and bend it up to the chest and take both hands to clasp and hold that knee. If it feels available, right? If it only wants to come up, maybe, maybe the feet wants to stay where the toes are just right on the ground and we just lift that heel, right? Anywhere from where we started to where I proposed we come, anywhere in the middle, anywhere in between is still making an effort in that same way, right? If you're coming all the way up here, holding here, lifting the heart, feeling tall in the spine, again, keep checking in with that left side body. That's your lever there that you're anchored into the ground. And then a few options here. First, we can just start to do ankle circles, right? Rolling the foot, opening that ankle. We can point and flex the foot just to kind of warm up the ankle or open up the ankle and the feet. And then also something that I like to do is just kind of shake the foot. Use gravity to our advantage and just find that you can really just shake out any kind of tension in the ankle. This particular ankle of mine has a full-on ankle replacement. I've had 8 surgeries here, and so this is something I do 20 times a day, and it feels great. It holds a lot of tension, and this allows it to shake right out. And whether you have an ankle replacement or not, I know you can get some tension out too. And then from here,
do we just ignore the cracking noise?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, that's good. That's the bad stuff leaving, right? And then we want it just going away. Release the krakens. And from here, let's go ahead and maybe challenge ourselves a little bit. This is the hot spot of the practice. So from here, if it feels okay too, feels available, keep your right hand holding the knee and let the left arm come out. We can stay working here, or again, we can stay with both hands. If it feels available, we can keep that knee up and bring the right arm out as well. Lift the heart, ground in where you can, lift the spine. One more challenge, if it feels good, we can extend the legs straight. And actually one more challenge, if it feels good, we can take a hold of the back of the leg and lift the leg up. Try not to lean, try to lift the heart, try to let the spine stay stacked, try not to lean back. And then of course, just slowly exhaling, rebend that knee and bring it back, bring the foot back down. And then we'll just kind of check back in with the pelvis, ground back in with the feet. We want that stack. We want that nice alignment before we go to the left side. Just a few breaths. And then of course, when you're ready, inhale, slowly peeling off, find where we feel okay. If it's just lifting the heel and feeling like maybe one hand can just hold a little bit, or anything in between, we're bringing the left knee all the way up. And again, circles, point and flex. Just any way you can feel that ankle finding release, shaking. Just find some nice blood flow, loosening. Again, choosing a little bit, we'll keep that left hand on, open the right arm out, left arm out, extend the foot and leg. And again, hold on, a little hamstring stretch here. Exhale, just bending, coming back to our seat. And let's go ahead and open up the pelvis a little bit. After that work, it's only gonna feel good from here on out. So coming more towards the front of your seat, if it feels like it's gonna support you. And then we're gonna open the knees as wide as it feels okay to, right? Just to take the knees, again, to align with the hips. So you're pointing the knees out, pointing the toes out as well. And then from here, we're gonna help out with our hands. You're gonna take your hands and just sort of apply a little bit of assistance and just kind of press a little bit to each knee just to open the hips, right? So grounding the feet, just opening the hips. And if we can, take a little bit of sort of like a steering wheel, just let the right shoulder come in, press your right hip a little bit more intently, and then come back to center and do the same on the left. Just pressing a little bit open. Gently. Again, that release is just as slow and intentional as the opening. Continue to press the hips out. And if it feels okay too, we're gonna introduce a fold here. Keep the hands anchored and just bend the elbows to come forward. You can come as far forward as it feels okay to. Again, just coming to feel like you can hang the head and breathe here. And again, when you're ready to come up, use those hands to help press on the knees. Gradually rise back up, right? That felt good. Maybe do that 2 more times. Seeing a lot of fun faces here. Pressing out. All right, and then from here, just one more. We're gonna take the knees back to hips width, right? So feet again stacking under. I call this one the number 4 pose. And this is something, if I have to pick one thing that I think that I share with people more often, that's most common, that is helpful, just happens to be this what I call the number 4 pose. And it's great in a chair. This is something that's really helpful for low back tightness, sciatic pain. It stretches the glute muscles and it stretches and opens where we tend to have that nerve impingement with sciatica. So from here, again, it's called number 4. There's a couple of ways to do it. I like to share with clients doing it on the floor as well. So today, not necessarily an option, but if you would like to try to take, basically anchoring that left knee, just like we did in that last one, take your right ankle to rest on your left knee. So we're opening here. If this is actually not possible in the body, we can always just let the left leg extend a little bit and just take your right ankle across, maybe across the shin, right? It's a number 4, either way. We're just think of it as sort of mimicking the number 4, right? And then from here, whichever version you're choosing, you can stay here. You may feel just, a stretch just by sitting here. And or if it feels like you can take it a little further, you can also come forward, right? And take that stretch. Just listen to the back of your back right hip, the glutes on the right side. That's where you're listening. Should be a good stretch. And again, as always, just coming up gently, using your hands to help push you back up. And again, we could do that, as many times, 2, 3 times. Not sure how many are still with me here. But also taking that to a twist, taking the right knee now to cross over. So it's just like sitting cross-legged, right? And then from here, your left arm, we extend the left arm up and then bring your left hand to your outer right leg. We're twisting to our right and using the chair, holding on to in that same way in that last twist, just twisting right. It's always nice when you're working with the spine to start with a twist and end with a twist. It's just a way to, once you've got inflection and movement, especially working in the pelvis, to just kind of twist out any last tension or energy you don't want there anymore. And then of course, we're going to do that on the other side and crossing the legs. Left ankle coming to your right knee. Again, just folding forward or feeling wherever that stretch is actually serving you and breathing with that. Staying there, feeling the stretch, breathing, holding. And again, just always coming out or releasing it in that slow, mindful way. And the twist, crossing left over right, lifting, using that right hand to left leg and using your chair. Bring out that spine. And at the end of practices, we yogis tend to practice something called shavasana, which is a Sanskrit word for complete rest, right? Where we take the energy that we moved, or the openings and the allowances that we created in our movements, the mobilities, and we basically just anchor them, right? So it's just to become still and allow your body to kind of download, feeling and remembering, creating an imprint of the new feelings, the new openings, the new energy. So just to really allow yourself to sit, maybe close your eyes and take, again, another maybe 5 to 10 rounds of breath, how we started, to center, just coming back to that same breath. And it could just be the natural breath, or just letting yourself come back to that intentional breath, just quieting, but just allowing yourself, you might feel a stronger vibration too after movement. I know I do, of course, because I'm talking and I'm presenting, but just to bring your energy really to a lower vibration. Really, that's the point of really achievement, where you felt the body go from a higher vibration, or just more vibrant, and lowering to just as complete as you can achieve stillness, resting. And then your body remembers for next time.
Well, Kim, thank you very much. That was good. That was really good.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any of these things, if even just one maybe resonate with you, they're all things that, I intentionally brought to you, that are things that can be great, on a daily basis, or, they're really good little tools to have. So hopefully hopefully you'll remember at least one thing.
Thank
and
you.
serves
Thank-
you.
And remember, Rotarians, if you wish to do this again at your own leisure, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch this again. So you're absolutely invited to do that. Someone
Jim?
had Lois, you had a question or
Yes.
comment.
Hey, Kim, it's your neighbor Lois down the street.
Oh my gosh, hey Lois.
Hi, dear. I just have to say that I got my start with yoga after I retired from work, and that's been like maybe 12 years. It is the best thing that's ever happened to my body. I've learned so much, and that's all I'll say. It's just that if you ever really want to have, understand the concept of mindfulness, we only have one body. We're only given one. And I'm in a stage right now where I'm trying the best I can do to take care of it. There is nothing like yoga to help you. I'm done. Hi, Kim. Bye-bye.
Amen. Thank you, Lois. It's good to see you.
Does anyone have any questions for Kim? Well, Kim, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate you joining us at our meeting. I will tell you, I feel much more limber than I started the meeting, and we appreciate that. One of the things that our club does is we're big believers in childhood literacy. And in honor of you joining us today, we'll be donating a book in your honor to Ruffner Academy, which was our school of the week. So if you're ever at Ruffner Academy, once they get all reopened, feel free to stop by their library and look up your book.
Well,
But
that's precious and lovely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We appreciate all that you've taught us, and wish you the best. And I just want to let everyone know that our next meeting is next Tuesday, April 13th, and it will be our member networking event. So thank you for joining us, and we are adjourned. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. I did know somebody.